going on, guys, and welcome back here to another weather video. Glad to have you guys here for another weather update because we have a lot of stuff on the table. I know I typically say that, but in this video, we have a lot of stuff we got to go over in terms of the weather pattern we're going to be seeing here. The new pattern is going to be affecting literally everybody in the country. Got a couple storm systems that's heading our way, the tropics. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of stuff we're going to go ahead and go over. Now, guys, if you are new to the channel, please do me a favor. Consider subscribing. I'm not going to tell you to subscribe, but please consider it. It'd be greatly appreciated, my friends, as we're going to be here to keep you guys always updated with the weather. It'd be greatly appreciated. But all right, my friends, well, we're going to go ahead and start off here with the current conditions. Like I said, if you guys want to go ahead and see the forecast, go ahead and skip to this time frame right here. So go ahead and fast forward because we're just going to go over the current conditions here to start. But anyways, let's go ahead and start our way here across the northeast. So there's really not a lot going out for these regions. Right now, we are seeing those temperatures relatively in the 50s for the most part. You know, mostly clear conditions. Overall, nothing too crazy out there. Now, we work our way down to the south here. You know, pretty much the same thing overall, but the temperatures are obviously a bit more warmer down south. Florida seeing in the 70s, but that's just typical Florida. The southeast, relatively, a lot of the southeast is actually in the 60s for the most part. So overall, it's a pretty nice day there. Got some prevailing high pressure across the regions. We do have a few showers, as you guys can see, just off the coast of Georgia and portions of northeastern Florida. Nothing too crazy going on, once again. But overall, pretty nice day for a lot of the southeast here. Now, we're going to work our way to the southern plains here, you know, like Texas. Temperatures getting up into the 70s and 60s, you know, pretty similar to the southeast, but not a cloud in the sky for the most part. It is really looking pretty good out for those regions. Now, we work our way up here to the north. Now, that's where things start to change now, because we do have ourselves a system that's working its way throughout portions here of the central plains into the Midwest. We're seeing those temperatures, you know, getting up into the 50s across those regions, kind of the upper 40s, lower 50s for the most part, into the mid-50s overall. So we just got a little bit of rain rolling through portions here of Nebraska, into Iowa, portions here of Minnesota, and even portions out there towards the Illinois, northern Illinois, experiencing a little bit of rainfall with this little system. But overall, you know, even this system is really not going to do too much. Now, we work our way down here to the southwest. Pretty much dry for the most part, dry as a bone out there, really not too much going on. Just typical normal stuff for this time of the year. But then we look to the upper northwest. Now, right now the temperatures are obviously, you know, getting up into the 50s overall, into the lower or the upper 40s, lower 50s. But if you look closely, see that big mass here? That is going to be our next storm system. So we're going to have to watch that over the next couple of days, as it could have some potential impacts down the line. Switching things over here to the tropics, y'all, we have ourselves 97L. We are still monitoring out there. However, probabilities have gone down significantly since the last couple of updates. So right now the system is very disorganized. It's approaching Central America right now, driving a lot of heavy rain for a lot of those regions out there by Central America. As you can see, a lot of disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity. It's running out of time to basically gather any circulation or really gather any tropical characteristics, I should say. It's already circulating to some degree, but overall, like I said, you know, the system probability of forming is, that's kind of losing out hope on that system out there. So 10% chance of formation over the next 48 hours, next 2 days. Same thing for the next 7 days, 10% chance overall. So the system, it belongs in the trash. All right, now as we move out there to the west here in the eastern Pacific, we have ourselves Tropical Storm Pilar, however you want to pronounce that. System is currently clocking in at 50-mile-per-hour sustained winds, with gusts obviously getting up a little higher. Pressure's down to 1,000 millibars, and the system is moving relatively quickly here to the west-southwest at around 21 miles an hour. So that little ball right there, that little ball of convection, that is Tropical Storm Pilar, I guess you call it. The system is expected to continue to the west, eventually kind of gradually moving to the northwest over the next several days. Far away from land, not a problem. And in terms of the intensity, it's not even forecasted to be a hurricane as of now. Just expected to remain a tropical storm over the next several days. All right, my friends, diving on into the models here, we're taking a look at the American GFS model. So remember whenever we were taking a look at the overall radar and satellite, if you guys are just tuning in here, we had a big mass across the upper northwest side here of the country. Now, this mass is another round of precipitation. It's going to be rolling its way through the country here for the next couple of days. So that is something to watch out for. Now, keep that in mind. Remember, keep the north in mind. You'll see what I'm talking about, that weather pattern we were talking about, or I mentioned here. So we work our way down in time. So this system is going to be bringing a lot of precipitation up there across portions here of, you know, Idaho, portions of Washington State, Oregon, those regions there. A couple of showers could be possible throughout the central plains. Maybe some, you know, showers up there towards the coastal northeast could be possible. What I mean by coastal is by the Great Lakes region overall. But yeah, so like I said, you know, system rolls its way through the region, but we work our way a little bit more further down in time. A couple snow showers could spawn up there towards, you know, like northwest Wyoming here, pretty much for the morning of the 5th. So that's actually a possibility. But look what happens here down in time. So if you look closely, right above me up here towards, Minnesota and Wisconsin, we get a bit of snow way up there in Canada. Now, this is not going to be a problem for the United States. We're probably not going to see any snow out of this system in particularly. However, it could be a decent snow event here for portions of South Central Canada. However, we're not going to be completely dry with the system, as we are going to be potentially seeing a bit of precipitation out there towards, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. Those regions possibly could see a bit of rain. But then, if you've noticed, look over here to the northwest. Another round of precipitation rolls through here, basically for the 6th. So what is this, the 3rd storm now at this point? So we get our 3rd storm that starts working its way through here. We work way down in time. Could actually kick up a decent amount of snow up there towards the upper ranges. The upper mountain ranges could be possible. So look out there for a bit of snow. Could be a potential. Couple string cheese-like storms possibly out there towards the Ohio Valley could potentially be kicking off. Like I said, this is the GFS model, and you should never trust one model in particularly. Basically take this with a grain of salt. We're basically just looking at the potential scenario overall of what could happen. But then we work our way down in time here. So look what happens. Then we get ourselves a lot of precipitation, a lot of rainfall that happens here for basically the 8th, in the morning for the 8th. At this point, we're starting to kind of really push our range here with the models because, at a certain degree, they start to get a little bit more inaccurate at this point. But, the suggestions have actually shown possibly even a snowstorm kicking up there for the northeast out there. It's actually showing that as a possibility. We're going to rewind here just a second. So look at that. So you can see how, possibly a little bit of, freezing rain potential, snowfall. It's still a little early to be certain on that system, but we'll have to just keep an eye on, like I said, and we'll just see how the models materialize over the next couple of days. Now, over the next 72 hours or the next 3 days, this is the projected amount of accumulation regarding rainfall that we possibly could be seeing. Now, once again, we are still looking at the American GFS, and boy, do I tell you, we could be seeing a lot of rainfall, literally up the coast here of extreme northwestern California, through the entire coastal areas here of Oregon into Washington. We're talking a lot of these regions here, this big gap, possibly 2 to 4 inches of rainfall could be possible. So that is definitely a pretty good amount of rainfall potentially out there. Now we work our way a little bit more to the east out there by like central Idaho. Obviously the accumulations is a little bit more or less. I say across those regions maybe more 1 to 2 inches. And most other areas should remain under an inch, across that blue kind of color here, right in here, it should remain, right up in here, should basically remain under an inch for the most part. Then, of course, we work our way out there towards the upper Midwest. We have ourselves, northern Minnesota. We have upper Wisconsin into upper state of Michigan here. Those regions as well should actually remain under an inch. So really not a lot of precipitation up there for the most part. It is going to be relatively low overall. And then, of course, across the country, you can see how it is relatively dry. We're not expecting much across the Southwest. A lot of the Central Plains, a lot of the East, the entire East basically. We are not expecting much precipitation over the next 3 days, so it is going to be relatively dry. And that leads us to that pattern I was talking to you guys about. So the big pattern overall is that we are going to be seeing so many storms. We've seen it on the models. Storm after storm rolling across the northern country. And down south, no, it's really dry. So that's the big pattern change, is up. If you live up in the north, if you live up here for the next week or so, it looks like the models are suggesting storm after storm. Meanwhile, down south, not really hardly any activity. So it's going to be dry down south, and it's going to be very, very wet up north. Basically, literally cutting the country in half, basically. The northern section is going to be relatively more above average, in terms of precipitation, and down south it's going to be a little bit more dry overall. Maybe even slightly cooler up to the north as well, as that jet stream could be bringing a little bit of cool air across those regions. Meanwhile, down south, for southwest, southeast, kind of normal, conditions can be expected across the regions. But that is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Okay, so now we talk the overall winds regarding things over the next 3 days here from the GFS model overall. So this evening we are going to be seeing a big band of some pretty gusty winds. Nothing too crazy though, right around between 10 and 20 miles an hour for the most part. Other than that, the southeast here is relatively calm for the most part. Same thing out west. It could get a little gusty at times out there towards coastal Oregon, coastal Washington as this new system starts rolling its way through the region. But look what happens. So we work our way here through tomorrow. most of the country is relatively calm. We got ourselves like Texas down there basically for tomorrow morning. Could be getting a little gusty across some of those regions. Nothing too crazy. But then we work our way here towards the 5th. Now for the 5th here, we're going to be seeing some seriously windy conditions out there. Look at that, right around 5 o'clock p.m. here for the 5th. As a new system's going to be rolling through, we could see a lot of strong winds, not just across the southern, central, portions of the plains and the Midwest, but also out to the west here as well. Look at that out there towards Wyoming. Could be getting really gusty. I mean, we're talking over 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts possibly could be a possibility. So that's definitely pretty hefty out there. But anyways, that's over the next couple of days regarding the wind speeds and stuff like that. Just thought I'd mention that with you guys as well. Alright my friends, well that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you guys did enjoy it, please consider leaving a like and hitting that subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated, my friends. Y'all take care. Like I said, we'll do a live stream tomorrow, guys, in order to give you guys more of a update here in the live terms. So we'll be live once again for you guys tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to do a video tomorrow. I think we're just going to go straight to the live stream, probably around 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So I hope to see you guys there. Alright my friends, y'all take care. We love y'all. Please be safe out there, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, my friends. See you then.